Hello and welcome to another Weekend League journey, whatever someone want to call this. This was the Weekend League for New Year's Eve. Team stayed pretty much about the same, so using the same false nine formation as before. Two changes were we're trying out Hullet at right center mid this game instead of Zidane from last week. Hullet's going to get replaced pretty quickly by Musiala instead. And then we've got this evolution for Pedro Neto, who's playing center forward. This was, I think it's an FC Founder 2 or something, and then Midfield Dynasty and Trick-Artista time evolution, and then Midfield Dynasty. Main thing is that he's got some of the best dribbling stats in the game, except for Composure. Composure is 74, and that will definitely be apparent. Definitely lets him down a lot, unfortunately, but the tiki-taka play style, especially for a center forward, for how I'm playing, is great. Thoughts on the card overall? I mean, you'll see he's probably my best player this weekend, but the fact that the composure does let him down so often, just it doesn't even necessarily make him that bad all the time. It just makes him less fun to use than he would otherwise. But because I want explosive players so badly, he's kind of the best option I've got right now. And yeah, good addition to the team overall. This weekend I felt I played very well. This was probably my best weekend league performance for a while, maybe this year. A lot of really good passing plays. I think you'll be able to see that. Ones like this one. And there's Neto even with the 74 composure. He's on marksman chem stats, like 93 finishing. You should be able to put that away. But yeah, the weird things about the composure are that he does emphasize skill moves, or like the skill moves you get when you're sprinting, even though he's stationary. He'll do that sometimes, and then yeah, it does let down the finishing sometimes, especially when he's under pressure. He does have press proven, which is maybe my favorite playstyle in the game. It's ridiculously effective, but not as strong in him as it would be otherwise with the higher composure. The tiki-taka plus of both Putellas and Pedro Neto are great though. Like, you could probably say a little bit abusable, a little bit spammable there in the center of the park for both of them, but it's definitely effective. Having those two and the passing of Garrincha as well just makes some of the short passes and the first time passes and stuff you can do here with this team just so great for the playstyle I want to use. Main focus this weekend, I think, was trying to be a little less aggressive on defense. I concede a lot of goals from just taking my players out of position for no reason because I want the ball back. I'm trying to stay a little bit more patient and a little bit more, I guess, in line with the rest of the team. You don't want to take them out of their default positions too much, because then the AI will take somebody else and move them into that position, and then the attacking AI of your opponent will take advantage of that. They'll capitalize, they'll run into that space left behind. So trying to keep everyone a little more in line, and then trying to be just a little less aggressive, I think, because tackling this game's a bit weird. Just not sprinting at the opposition and trying to get the ball back immediately so much. It's a great free kick from Putellas. He's been really good at him for me so far. It's a great viewing angle for it too. And yeah, the main focus is just trying not to go directly forward as much this weekend. I think in a lot of my games, when I get the ball, I just want to go forward and forward and forward. Which is the play style I have. I don't necessarily want to hang on to the ball. I want to be attacking as much as I can with the ball. It was a weird interaction there from Virgil, by the way. And this was an effective thing this weekend. Not a bit ratty, you could say, but power shots with Pedro Neto. He does have the base play style for it, on the corner kicks from outside the box there. Yeah, trying not to immediately go forward every time, because sometimes if you get the ball forward too much and your team isn't in the right spots to support it, then you're just kind of isolated up front. So instead, trying to utilize just going back to the midfield or being a little bit slower with it and not sprinting forward as much in a way that buys the midfield more time to just kind of slowly get involved as they do, and then I've got much better passing angles when I do get forward instead of kind of only having the front three involved.
And the founders moving the ball forward with purpose.
Yeah, Pedro Neto, again, he's having a little bit of a showcase here. 5-star, 4-star. Unfortunately, I don't think the evolutions for him are available anymore, but like I said, I really need explosive type players in this game. Having Garrincha and Pedro Neto up top are great for me. I think you're able to see kind of why through a lot of these clips here. It's trying to do these tight little passes, get everyone involved in really close space, which is not at all the meta this year. It's a great goal from Pedro. Never mind. Not a great goal. There's his composure on display. Again, we'll let you down sometimes, but the fun of it is worth it for me, and then even with low composure, his ability to get into those positions is still greater than somebody I'd have probably with a mostly explosive or controlled type player I play. Yeah, a little hard to rely on him sometimes, but the idea of the system itself, this 4-3-3-5 I'm playing, the idea is to get so many high-quality chances that are just going to overrun opponents anyway. That's the idea anyway, and it has been working in Weekend League. Not so great in Rivals, I would say. Rivals, I definitely need some more experimentation. Especially when you're just conceding corner goal after corner goal like this in Rivals. That was one of the main faults, I think, of the team this weekend. Just the concession of these corners here. Got a high amount of penalty kicks this weekend, I would say. Putellas has been great at dispatching him. And I just love passing plays like this. Just being able to get so many players in the box. And like I say, I want these explosive, quick, agile, short, skillful center mids and wingers to be able to just take that extra touch, and instead of just sprinting in the into the area and kind of going for the meta shot of just like a Dino play step over, of trying to build into those spots a little bit more. You can see that great here. Pedro Neto, I think I've got the false 9 instruction on him this weekend. Dropping in deep there to allow somebody else to make the run into the box. He picks up the ball, lays it off to someone else. Just really enjoying being able to score those goals. Overall, again, I think this was probably my best Weekend League performance. The matchmaking, I think, of Weekend League is really strange. Rivals is game after game after game of incredibly sweaty meta, just every single match. There's never an easy match there, but Weekend League is... Sometimes I wonder how many players I play against our elite division. Normally I don't find any of my opponents here to be necessarily great opponents. What I would say is some of them are scary opponents. The frustrating thing about this game for me, I think, is if you take every option you have of scoring in this game, you've got, let's say, like, I don't know if you want to count, like, quick, agile skill moves is one. Like, you can just get the ball to someone in the box and do, your Elastico or your McGee to cancel, or La Croqueta or something like that. Just do, like, one skill move and shoot. It's, like, kind of one method to score. You can do, like, full-on skill runs. It's another method to score. You've got headers and crosses and corners. You've got all the through balls you can do. You've got ground passing game, long passing game, using the width, using the center, all the fullbacks. Like, none. I'm not saying the combination. Oh, and then trivelas and long finesse shots, that kind of stuff. But I'm not saying all of those things are meta. Far from it. But just that there are all those ways to score, and most of the that's a phenomenal power shot there from Pedro Neto again. But of all the methods we have to score, most opponents you play are only, I'd say, proficient, or I'd say normally 2, sometimes 1, sometimes 3. Their rivals, I would say, is probably more likely to be, more effective at maybe 3 or 4 things instead of just 1 or 2. And I think that's kind of the difference between the Weekend League and the Rivals games, is most opponents are kind of, I'd say, specialists at a certain thing. Really good at corners, or really good at crosses, or really good at through balls, but never all of them at once, That being said, I would definitely call myself a specialist myself. I'd rather play the way that I do, even if it's not the most effective, and even if I have to lose some games. Because I'm just not really willing to sacrifice overall enjoyment of the gameplay that I get to, I guess, watch myself perform or participate in, And this is press proven, just being broken there from Pedro. I think he does it again here. And shield off Lorente, around the keeper, somehow misses, but yeah, that playstyle, especially when you're using the actual L2 button as it's designed for, is just ridiculous. He's shielding off Virgil in situations like this, But yeah, I'm not someone who's willing to sacrifice like overall gameplay or the types of goals that I score for full-on results. I will turn to more meta style, meta goals, instead of the nice build-up you'll see here. What I'm trying to go for, in the difficult games or in div rivals, I will score more just through balls or kind of breakaways, the ones that are less build-up involved and more counterattack involved, or things like that, because you just kind of have to. I mean, to be fair, you do need to score a variety of goals to win your games, but some of them, they are kind of the only option as well, Just your opponent has a strong enough tactic or a strong enough team or a defensive enough formation where there's not really space to do all these passes here, then you do have to rely on something else. But say besides kind of that counterattacking style, or the one you're seeing here with the greater build-up and just kind of getting the ball into the box, and trying to do these really high percentage shooting angles, I don't really have anything else in my game. I'm great at short corners, but terrible at I don't think I've delivered a ball in the box from a corner this whole year. But yeah, bad at headers, just terrible at headers. I never look up the field to see if someone's in the box. I'm not good at crossing or anything like that because I never tried. I don't know how it works. I'm not great at playing the ball in the air in general. I'm not great at through balls or like over the top through balls in general. So my playstyle is definitely pretty limited. So you can call myself, one of the specialists that I was describing. You've only got 2 or 3 methods to score, but most opponents I score, they don't have these, or most opponents I play against, they don't have these methods of scoring. That's again why I'm kind of enjoying this game. Why I'm hoping there's something to get out of these videos. It's just watching something a little more interesting than your standard game. But most of the goals you're kind of seeing me concede are either going to be corners or crosses or just, a through ball with, 1, 2, maybe 3 passes beforehand. But a lot of mine you're seeing, you're not even seeing me have the ball with the defense, and I'm still getting the ball up the field with a couple passes, and then, well, not on this clip with these through balls here, but that's Mbappe for you. Yeah, a couple passes with the defenders, a pass or 2 with the midfielders, you get it up to the attackers, you pass it back to the mids, and then there's hopefully 5, 6, 7 passes there before the shooting chance. And yeah, it's been effective in these games. Rivals, again, still a little bit more of a challenge, but still sitting with just an absurd coin balance, I think now. Not from after this weekend league, but as I'm recording this a little bit later, we're now over 9 million coins. So again, when Team of the Year hits, hopefully I'll be able to build a really strong team that'll just keep me able to play this kind of play style, you know. You do definitely need players good enough for it. I'm debating trying a couple Rivals games just to mess with it, of a team that's, you know, worse or under a certain price point at least. You know, replacing maybe Garrincha, who's I think 800k now, and Mbappe, who was a 3 million coin SBC or something. Replace them with like Di Maria RTTK, who I think's 25k now, and Neymar, who's about 50. And seeing if I'm still able to kind of play this style. Hopefully so, because ideally the formation itself is able to kind of generate things that are, you know, generate high enough quality chances. That's just part of the system. I think that's the idea, but even though like they're good at getting the certain positions that I do like, the higher quality players will just have better attacking AI, and you know, even if they're getting into the same positions, the Mbappe's and to an extent Garrincha over the other players I mentioned will just be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit higher quality at getting into just better scoring angles in general. I think it'd be an interesting experiment, but I do think you definitely need a good enough team to play a formation like this. You are sacrificing certain things, you know. 3 midfielders to defend with instead of your standard 4 midfield setup, you know, your 2 blocks of 4 that everyone else defends with. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about, was I don't believe I played a single game this weekend that wasn't against a 4-3-2-1. I think you can imagine just how frustrating that would be. There might have been a couple changes later into the match as I'm kind of winning and somebody tries a different tactic, but beyond that, I believe just about everyone, if not everyone, played the same formation. I'm having that in Rivals. I can say definitely more confidently that my last 10 Rivals matches, I think one's been against the 5-back and the rest have all been 4-3-2-1. So you're kind of expected in this game to be defending with your 2 blocks of 4, and you need a stronger midfield setup and a stronger defensive setup, which I don't necessarily have the meta setup with Musiala and Putellas. I think you'd want a more traditional like Vieira type CDM, and maybe like actually keeping in Hullet instead of swapping in Musiala like I did. But it's not quite meta, but it's very effective for this, and I think you definitely do need players of a strong enough caliber to kind of get away again with the deficiencies of this formation here. But, you know, all that being said, it's I don't know if I would still be playing Weekend League if I wasn't enjoying playing like this. I'd be curious to try the 4-3-2-1 again, because I haven't used it since like the first couple of games this year, and I decided, yeah, I'm not doing this. I didn't do it last year, I'm not going to do it this year either. I need something just a little bit different. And yeah, it'd be interesting to go back to, just see how it works, but I wouldn't rely on it or use it for any number of important games, just to, I guess, kind of learn it from the attacking end instead of just playing against it game after game. Because I'm curious and I'm disappointed and I get it all at once of, you know, that's a ridiculous save, by the way. I have so many mixed feelings about everyone using the same formation, but mostly just disappointment. And not necessarily to anyone else. I spend a lot of my free time playing this game and thinking about this game kind of thing. And I've played a lot of FIFAs in the past. So I get, like, if you know, if Weekend League is a bit harder for you to participate in, you don't have as much free time and you don't have as much experience with FIFA, or just in general aren't able to kind of get on the game as much than I get just playing the same formation that everyone else does, because certainly none of them make nearly as much sense as the 4-3-2-1 for this game, I think. Just slap on the tactics that you find some pro to use and YouTuber put a tactics video out for, and just try to play the exact same way that everyone else is playing. Like, it's certainly the easiest thing to do, and again, if you don't have a lot of time, it makes sense, but for the opponents I play week after week after week, sometimes it is the same people, it is just disappointing to see there's no experimentation, there's no consideration of something else to do, and especially in repeat games, I think. You play somebody and you beat them, and, maybe it's a close game, maybe it doesn't either way. What they were doing didn't work all that well. Certainly didn't work well enough to win. And then, this is probably the rattiest goal I score all weekend, to be fair. But yeah, they had their play style and it didn't work well enough. And then they're either not willing to experiment, or they don't have any kind of backup plan. They haven't thought about it. Or they just don't want to play another way. Anyway, it's like, when you match against the same person again, and they're trying the same through balls or the same crosses, and it's continuing not to work, that always makes me frustrated too. It's like, can't you consider any other attacking angle? Like, it's not working, and you continue sprinting forward as fast as you can, giving me the ball back. I don't know, again, it's always kind of frustrating, but we're nearing the end of these clips here. I think there's just another game or two. See, very crucial tackle from Dodo there. He's been a very solid fullback for me, more than I'd think he would, but I think Havertz on the other side is a little bit higher quality considering what this game is. It was a ridiculous pass forward from Mbappe, and I do mean to talk about the clips a little bit more, kind of commentate over them or give some insight to them or anything like that in these videos, and I keep doing just kind of more of a rambling session, but I'm still learning how this works. I think as I sort out my style and all that stuff, hopefully I'll get a little more confident in the types of videos I make. And I think that one there with the substitution of Usman, that was the winning goal of this game. I think we do score one more here, but he's a great player to have off the bench, him and Dybala both, because Pedro, Neto, and what's his name? Garrincha both have pretty low stamina. So this was, I'm at 19-1 in the final game of the weekend. I was going to give away. Didn't get the opportunity to. So yeah, that's a 20-0 finish this time. I think normally it's probably best practice to go 19-1 if or 19-0 and just give that final game away. But didn't get the chance to. Oh well. Still saving the packs for Team of the Year. So you'll see some of the player picks, and I think one of the campaign mixed packs. Because I only remembered to record one. Oops. Yeah. Not that they were anything good. This was one of the 84 plus player picks. This is what we got, Trippier in this one, I think. I was considering this kind of interesting, strange-looking wild card. I wish some of the lower-rated cards were a little better to use. I do miss that in past FIFAs. There was a Adel Tarabit that I used to love, and 2 years ago, I think, winter wild cards. But yeah, anyway, sometimes they give them pretty ridiculous stats or an interesting playstyle or two, but we're not quite getting that so much this year. And there's Kakare. I think I got him twice out of the campaign pack. I might have got him all 3 times. And a year in review player pick. Figo, not the worst. Not the best. He's not going to get into the team, let's be honest. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. If you do have any feedback on these types of videos, please feel free to leave a comment and all that. And I will catch you next time.